in my parish, in my family, I mentioned that we had a soup kitchen, and he said to me, he was surprised. He said, so people in Long Beach need a soup kitchen? Like there's actually hungry people in Long Beach? And I said, yeah, I think there are. I don't think everybody who comes to the soup kitchen is actually necessarily hungry or, terribly in need. Some are, but that's just not only what the soup kitchen does. And I see this almost every day of the week. I just think they create a place for people to come. Part of it is, just feeding people who might not have the bucks to get lunch that day. But it also, I think the place I know it does, it fills kind of a need for community. I love the community there. Just people come together, and all different people from everywhere. And that's just solely because of the people who work the soup kitchen. And in a lot of ways, I was born out of Sandy. I will always remember the hall in those weeks after Sandy. You remember what it was like. It was filled with everything. People, supplies and so on. And we'd stop at noon, I think it was noon, and we'd kind of tell people we were going to stop for 20 minutes for Mass. And you could smell the coffee, and you could smell the soup that was cooking in the kitchen. And it never stopped. And they literally fed people it was just so cold. Remember how cold it was in those days? Something very good and great that came out of something that was tough and struggled. So I'm just thankful for all of the great people. And I also love this, the soup kitchen is as diverse as the people they serve. They're not just parishioners, they're just people with big hearts. So I just think it's a great idea that we honor them. We honor them as a group rather than an individual. I think it's the best of what a Catholic parish is and should be. Although I will single out just, Pete McCabe and Tom O'Brien for their leadership. They're just great men who are so committed in so many ways. So I'd like to just thank all associated. Maybe ask Pete to come up. I know Pete would just like to say a few words. So Pete, come on up.
Hi everybody, how are you? My name's Pete, and I'm in charge of the soup kitchen because I stood still one day when they were looking for somebody to be in charge of the soup kitchen. I've been negotiating this with Father Brian for 2 weeks now. He said you can have 4 minutes, and whatever I did, he said 4.5. But as soon as I came up here, I went, and he said yeah. When I first met Father Brian, it was, I think it was just before Sandy. He was brand new, and he said, I'd like to talk to you. I said, fine. And we talked about soup kitchen, and I said, it is as important to me to give somebody an opportunity to do service as it is to feed people who are hungry. They have an equal value. Because I understood what it was like to retire from a career and then walk around constantly saying, what now? And this filled a void in my life. In no way did I ever expect it to fill. It's the friends that I made, the professionals that I work with, even though we don't get paid, just the dignity and respect with which they treat the clients. It's been a major, major part of my life, and I'm so grateful for it, and grateful for Father Brian to give us the opportunity and the place to do that. I was going to read a list of all the people, and it goes on. There's a lot of people out there visible, and a lot of people that do things behind the scenes, and it tallies up to somewhere around 30, 32 people. So I'm not going to call names, but everybody who's involved in the soup kitchen, just please stand up. These are my friends. There are two people I'm going to single out. One, during Sandy, this woman came to the hall and was later to say she had never known hunger or thirst in her life. And she came to the hall and she got food and she got water. A while later, we've been trying to get the kitchen certified, and it was a process, and it was an expensive process, and we didn't have the money. This woman said to Father Brian, I want to give you a check, and it was for a lot of zeros after a number. And she said, this I want in a separate bank account that they can draw on whenever they need food. And Father Brian said, it just so happens that if they had that money, they could do what they need to get certified by Nassau County Board of Health and get grants. And Susan said, that seems like a better way to go. She's, without her, I would not be here tonight because I don't know if there would be a soup kitchen. Susan O'Connor. I'm going to definitely go over my 5 minutes. Susan, it didn't end there with Susan. We were talking one day, she came in and she said, is there anything you need for the soup kitchen? I said, a shoehorn. And she looked at me like I was nuts. I said, we could use this, and this, but we have absolutely no room to put them. And she said, well, any ideas? I said, yeah, we can blow out the back wall of the soup kitchen and go 15 feet more and extend it. And she said, oh. And I had asked her if she knew anybody who wrote grants, and she said yes. And I said, well, what do you think about the grants? She goes, let's test the upper limits. And she has been working very hard for the past year and a half testing the upper limits. And it's something that may or may not happen, but by God, it's not going to be from lack of effort on her part. And Susan, thank you very much. Thank you. Person, I was thinking today, I don't know why this Latin phrase popped into my head, maybe from Latin 101 many years ago, sine qua non, and I believe it means without which nothing. And Susan is certainly one of those without which nothing. Father Brian is the other one, without which nothing. Pretty much because he owns the joint. We have a place. There'd be no sense cooking if we had to eat outside all the time without it. He's just been he's been good insofar as that he doesn't really have too many opinions on what we should cook or how we should cook it. But he's been known to run in, grab some potatoes way too hot for any human being to hold, eat them right away, and go pow, and then go back for more. So I want to thank sincerely, and I forgot Tim. Tonight he's an honorary person in the soup kitchen. Tim Murphy. Thanks, Tim. 30 more seconds and I'm done. This mother walks into the bedroom, her son's bedroom, and shakes him and says, you have to get up, you're going to be late for school. I love this one. And he pulls the cover over his head and said, I'm not going to school, and I'll give you 2 good reasons why. The kids don't like me, and the teachers don't like me. And the mother says, as she pulls the sheet from over his head, you are going to school today, and I'm going to give you 2 good reasons why. You're 52 years of age, and you're the principal.